Hey everybody, it's Rory from ANSgear. We're going to take a look at the GoG eNMEy today. The eNMEy is kind of a different gun than you might understand as far as how it works, but it's a great shooter and for a pretty reasonable price. So what we have here are the parts you're going to get. This is what it looks like when you get it. So here, that's just the black one. We're going to set this one off to the side, and we're going to focus on what I have in front of me right here. So you're going to get your barrel sleeve. You're going to get a manual, and it's a very basic manual. Seeing as though the gun is not electric, it doesn't have any firing modes or anything like that. It just has shoot and don't shoot. So it's just a very brief explanation on how the gun works, which is really all you need to know. How to adjust your velocity, which is going to be done through the regulator at the bottom. How your bolt comes out, so how you need to clean that. And then the various options, you know, what it weighs. The pressure runs at about 190 PSI, which is still low pressure. It's CO2 or compressed air compatible. It's a pneumatic gun, a manual pneumatic gun, if you want to think of it that way. If anybody's familiar with autocockers and how the three-way works in an autococker, this is kind of the same idea on how that works. The barrel threading is ion, and it shoots 68 caliber. It doesn't have an eye system. Like I said, there's no electronics in it or anything like that. The bolt is a very low force bolt when it slides back and forth. If it was to encounter a paintball, there's a chance obviously it could break it, but because of the amount of force imparted on the ball through the bolt, it probably won't. It would just not cycle completely and then come off the ball again. You're gonna get Allen keys, O-rings, and these things you see here are what I've taken out already so that we can open the gun up. Looks like a little 10-inch or 12-inch barrel right there. Again, ion threaded for there. Now the gun itself, you can see right here, center feed, the bolt, you just unscrew it, pops out the back. Very simple maintenance on the bolt. Very similar to the G1 bolt, the Ecstasy bolt, older, the Vibe bolt. You know, they all kind of use the same idea. Very based off the ion bolt back in the day. So you have your bottom line ASA, thread it on, regulated up through the top. There's a pressure relief valve system in the regulator so that if the pressure spikes, which is very easy to happen in CO2 depending on hot or cold temperatures, the relief valve will bleed and let that gas bleed out of there. So if you feel or you hear your regulator bleeding, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a problem in the regulator. It could be venting excess pressure, or there could be a problem in there. So you want to get it checked out either way. And then you've got the body right here. So I'm going to pull the frame off. I already have everything separated off of there. Trigger, single trigger. Again, like I said, no electronics. So I'm going to pop this off of here. And you can see our solenoid right here. You've got the gas is going to come in through this port right here. It's going to come down this long black hose into the solenoid here. If you want to think of it as a solenoid, because remember, there's no electronics in there. And then the gas is distributed in the proper directions when you pull the trigger. Now, when you pull the trigger, I don't know if you guys can see down inside of here, but there is a little post that's inside of here. And when you pull the trigger like this, it moves the post up and down inside here. Now, the post is going to stick into the middle of this directional valve, is what I'm going to call it. So when the post goes in there, it pushes the valve forward, which makes the air go in a different direction. It makes the gun shoot. And when you let go of the trigger, the post comes back down. The valve resets into its original position and the bolt resets. So it operates like a solenoid, an electric solenoid would, except you are creating the motion of the solenoid by pulling the trigger back and forth. They say there's going to be an electronic upgrade for this. There isn't yet. As far as I know, they have not come out with it, and I have not heard of any plans of them to release it yet. But if you look at the box, it actually says on the box, electronic upgrade will be available. It's not yet. So if you see that, it's not out yet. But it's a very simple design. It's very limited in the amount of potential problems that you can have. So the gun runs great without the worry of all the fancy electronics and things like that. So if that's something you're interested in, for the price, I think they're fantastic guns. They're going to be great shooters. I think they're a really good choice. Comes in a bunch of different colors, so check them out. This is the GoG eNMEy, available through the website. Order yours now through ANSgear.com.